Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Vikas Kumar. Today we have very interesting topic which is forecasting and demand measurement. As I'm making this complete series on marketing management, which will be helpful for MBA as well as for MCOM students. Moreover, you can watch all the videos which cover most of the marketing management topics in this channel. Let's start with the lecture. Understanding the marketing environment and conducting marketing research can help to identify marketing opportunities. The company must then measure and forecast the size, growth, and profit potential of each new opportunity. Sales forecast prepared by marketing are used by finance to raise the cash for investment and operations, by manufacturing to establish capacity, and output by purchasing to acquire the right amount of supplies, and by human resource to hire the needed workers. If the forecast is off the mark, the company will face excess of inadequate or inventories because it's based on estimation of demand. Managers need to define what they mean by market demand. Therefore, if we talk about the market demand, there are many productive ways to break down the market. The potential first is the potential market. It is the set of the consumer with a sufficient level of interest in the market offer. However, their interest is not enough to define a market unless they have sufficient income and access to the product. If we talk about the available market, it is the set of consumer who have interest, income, and access to a particular offer. The company of government may restrict sales of certain groups. A state might ban motorcycle sales to anyone under 21-year age. Eligible adult constitutes the qualified available market, the set of consumer who have interest, income, access, and qualification for the market offer. As far as the target market is concerned, it is the part of a qualified available market the company decide to pursue. The company might concentrate on its marketing and distribution effort on the east coast or any other area. So in the last, the penetrator market is the set of consumer who are buying the consumers or company's product. Company can prepare as many as 90 different type of demand estimates for 6 different products level, 5 space level, and 3 time period as shown in the model. Each serves a specific purpose. A company might forecast short run demand to order the raw material, plan production, and borrow cash. It might forecast regional demand to decide whether to set up a regional distribution. The market demand is not a fixed number but rather a function of the stated condition. For this reason, we call it market demand function. Its dependence on the underlying condition is illustrated in the model. The horizontal axis shows a different possible level of industry marketing expenditure in a given time period. The vertical axis shows the resulting demand level. The curve represents the estimated market demand associated with different level of marketing expenditure. The marketer's first step in the evaluating the marketing opportunity is to estimate the total market demand. Market demand for a product is a total volume that would be bought by a defined customers group in a defined geographical area in a defined time period in a defined marketing environment under a defined marketing program. The horizontal axis shows the different possible level of industry marketing expenditure in a given time period. The vertical axis shows the resulting demand or level. The curve represents the estimated market demand associated with a different level of marketing expenditure. The major concept in a demand measurement are market demand and company demand. Within each, we differentiate among a demand function, a sales forecast, and a potential. Organizations selling in a non-expansible market must access the market size, the level of primary demand for the product class, and the direct their efforts towards winning a large market share for their product. That is a higher level of selective demand for this their product. It pays to compare the current and potential level of market demand. The result is the market penetration index. A low index indicates the substantial growth potential for all the firms. A higher index suggests it will be expensible to attract a few remaining prospects. Generally, price competition increases and margin fall when the market penetration index is already high. Comparing current and potential market shares yields a firm's share penetration index. If this index is low, the company can greater expand its share, and holding it back could be a low brand awareness, low availability, benefits deficiency, or high price. A firm should calculate the share penetration increases from the removing each factor to see which investment produced the greatest improvement. Remember that the market demand function is not a picture of market demand over time, rather, it shows the alternate current forecast of market demand associated with the possible level of industry and market effort. If we talk about the market demand or market forecast, it is only one level of industry marketing expenditure will actually occur. The market demand corresponding to this level is called the market forecast, where market potential is the market forecast shows expected market demand, not maximum market demand. For the latter, we need to visualize the level of market demand resulting from a very high level of industry marketing expenditure, where further increases in the marketing effort would have little effect. And market potential is a limited approach by market demand as industry marketing expenditure approach infinity for a given marketing environment, where company demand is the company's estimate share of market demand at alternative level of company marketing effort in a given time period. As far as company sales forecast is concerned, once marketers have estimated company demand, their next task is to choose a level of marketing effort. The company's sales forecast is expected level of company sales based on chosen marketing plan and an assumed marketing environment. However, company sales for potential is the a sales limit approach by a company demand as a company marketing effort increase relative to that of competitors. The absolute limit of company demand is of course the market potential. The two would be equal if the company capture 100% of the market. In the most cases, the company's sales potential is less than the market potential, even when company marketing expenditure increases considerably. And we are now ready to examine the practical method for estimating current market demand. Marketing executives wants to estimate total market potential, area market potential, and total industry sales and market shares. Total market potential is the maximum sales available to all the firms in the industry during a given period under a given level of industry marketing efforts and environmental condition. A common way to estimate the total market potential is to multiply the potential number of buyers by the average quantity each purchases and then by the price. A variation on the method is the chain ratio method, which multiplies a base number by the several adjusting percentage. If 100 million people buy a books, each year, and average book buyers buy a 3 book a year at an average price of $20 each, then the total market potential for books is $6 billion. The most difficult component to estimate the number of buyers, we can always start with the total population in the nation, say 314 million people. Next, we eliminate the groups that obviously would not buy the product. Assume illiterate people and children under 12-year age don't buy books and constitute 20% of the population. This means 80% of the population, or 251 million people, is in the potential pool. Further, research might tell us that people of low income and low education rarely buy books, and they constitute more than 30% of the potential pool. Eliminating them, we arrive at the prospect pool of approximately 175.7 million book buyers. We use this number to calculate total market potential. A variation on this method is the chain ratio method, which multiply a base number by several adjusting percentages. Suppose a brewery is interested in estimating the market potential for a new light beer, especially designed to accompany a food. It can make an estimation with the following calculation, which is showing in the table. Because company must allocate their marketing budget optimally among their best territories, they need to estimate the market potential of different cities, states, and nations. Two major methods are the market build-up method, used primarily by business marketers, and the multiple factor index method, used primarily by consumer markets. Let's discuss the marketing build-up method. It is the method calls for identifying all the potential buyers in each market and estimating their potential purchases. It produces articulate a result if we have a list of all potential buyers and a good estimate of what each will buy. Where multiple factor index method, like business marketers or consumer company, also need to estimate area market potential, but because their customers are too numerous to list, they commonly use a straightforward index. A drug manufacturers might assume that the market potential for drugs is directly related to the population size. If the state of Virginia has 2.55% of the US population, Virginia might be a market for 2.55% of total drugs sold. Where the brand development index is normally the lower the brand development index, the higher the market opportunities. In that there is room to grow the brand. Other marketers would argue instead that the marketing funds should go into the brand's strongest market, where it might be important to reinforce the loyalty of more easily capture additional brand share. Investment decisions should be based on the potential to grow brand sales. Beside estimating total potential and area potential, a company need to know the actual industry sales taking place in its market. This means identifying a competitors and estimating their sales. The industry trade association will often collect and publish total industry sales, although it usually does not list individual company sales separately. Another way to estimate a sales is to buy the report from a marketing research firm that audits total sales and brand sales. Nielsen Media Research audits retail sales in a various supermarket and drugstores product categories. A company can purchase this information and compare its performance to the total industry of any competitors to see whether it is gaining or losing share. overall or brand by brand, because distributor typically will not supply information about how much of competitors products they are selling. Business to business marketers operate with a less knowledge of their market share result. As far as the estimating future demand is concerned, the few products or services that lend themselves to easy forecasting generally enjoy an absolute level of fairly constant trend and composition or competition that is either a non-existence or stable. In most markets, in the contrast, good forecasting is a key factor in a success. Company commonly prepare a macro environment forecast first, followed by industry forecast, followed by the company sales forecast. The macro environment or macroeconomic forecast project inflation, employment, interest rates, consumer spending, business investment, government expenditure, net exports, and other variable. The end result is the forecast of gross domestic product, which the firm uses along with the over other environment indicators to forecast industry sales. The company drives its sales forecast by assuming it will win a certain market share, or they may create their own or buy forecasts from outside sources such as marketing research firm, which interview a customer, distributor, and other knowledgeable parties. Specialized forecasting firm produce a long range forecast of particular macro-environmental components such as population, natural resources, and technology. All forecasts are built on a one of three information bases: what people buy or say, what people do, or what people have done. Using what people say requires a serving bias intention, composition of a sales force opinion, and expert opinion. Building a forecast on what people do means putting the product into a test market to measure the buyer response. To use the final basis of what people have done, firms analyze the record of past buying behavior or use time series analysis or statistical demand analysis. As far as a survey's buyer's intention is concerned, for major consumer durables such as appliances, research organization conduct a periodic survey of consumer buyer intention and ask questions like, do you intend to buy a automobile within the next 6 months, and put the answer on a purchase probability scale. Survey also requires into consumer percent and future personal finances and expectation about the company. Next is composite of sales force opinions. When the interviewing buyers is impractical, the company may ask its sales representative to estimate their future sales. Few companies use these estimates without making some adjustment. However, sales representatives might be pessimistic or optimistic. They might not know how their company's marketing plan will influence future sales in their territory, and they might deliberately underestimate the demands, so the company will set a low sale quota to encourage better estimating. The company could offer incentives or assistance such as information about the marketing plans or past forecasts compared with the actual sale. If we talk about the expert opinion, company can also obtain forecasts from experts including dealers, distributors, suppliers, marketing consultant, and trade association. Dealers estimate are subject to the same strength and weakness as the sales force estimates. Many companies buy economic and industry forecasts from well-known economic forecasting firms that have more data available and more forecasting expertise. Occasionally, company will invite a company or group of expert to prepare a forecast. The expert exchange views and produce an estimation as a group. or group discussion method, or individually, in which case another analyst might combine the result into a single estimate, which is pooling of individual estimates. Further round of estimating the refining follow the Delphi method. As far as the past sales analysis is concerned, firm can develop sale forecast on the basis of the past sales. A time series analysis breaks past time series into four components, which is trend, cycle, seasonal, and erratic, and projects them into the future. Exponential smoothing project the next periods of sales by combining an average of the past sales and the most recent sales, giving more weight to the latter. And the statistical demand analysis measure the impact of a set of causal factors such as the income, marketing expenditure, and the price on the sales level. Finally, econometric analysis builds set of equations that describe a system, and statistical drives the different parameters that make an equation statistically. A market test method, when the buyers don't plan their purchase carefully, or experts are unavailable or unreliable. A direct market test can help forecast a new product sales, or established product sales in a new distribution channel, or territories. So friends, I hope that at the end of lecture you would have understood the basic concept of forecasting and demand measurement. We shall be taking a complete series on marketing management in coming days by taking more in detail about our marketing aspects. So that is all about from my side. If you have any question or queries which are there, you can comment below. I look forward meeting you again. I hope you enjoyed watching this session. Thank you so much.